Our kids are in bed.
Welcome back.
We're so glad you're here.
I'm Brad.
I'm Rach.
Hopefully you've seen the previous 2 episodes where we talk about us getting our van stolen. Okay, so we left off with the bank. What lesson did you learn at the bank? Or
Yeah, so it was a really, really weird situation. The person that originally accepted our cashier's check let's bring you up to speed. We sold our van in about 1 day to a person that gave us a counterfeit cashier's check in exchange for the van. Very convincingly, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting ready to type, like, never give the car away without the check cleared.
We know.
We know, no. So anyway.
We knew before.
I know, we knew. He's so trusting. He's so trusting. The guy seemed very convincing, right?
He was a professional.
Obviously. So anyway, I deposited the check at a US bank. They accepted it, and it took a week for them to realize it was counterfeit. And the moral of the story is, the person that we're dealing with used an actual real cashier's check that they were able to change the information on.
So like the number was real. It was a real check.
There was a watermark on it.
The only thing they changed was the 2 and then the number, how much it was for.
Right, the 2 meaning like the name.
To Brad and Rach.
Yes.
Oh.
With their last name too. Spelled correctly, which is kind of surprising.
Well, because I sent him a picture of the title for the bin number.
Ooh, okay. Hey, Iris.
Oh, hey.
Hey, girl. So yeah, that's where we're at right now, is when we found out from the bank that the check is counterfeit. And once that really sunk in, that we talked to the corporate office in St. Louis, holy cow, she spelled that.
Very aggressive.
Aggressive.
Iris.
We realized it was counterfeit, and then we were on to our next steps of Brad calling the police officer. Then the deputy comes to our house, and then we are kind of up to speed with this point of our process where the deputy is telling us there's nothing we can do.
He's saying this is a civil matter. He had the same exact case 2 weeks ago. The prosecutor said, this is not a criminal case. This is only a civil matter. And we thought we were screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody on Instagram and YouTube was like,
thank goodness.
BS, this is a criminal case. I'm a repo person. I'm a
lawyer. My husband's in law enforcement.
Yeah, all of this stuff. And they were absolutely correct.
Exactly. He thought it was a civil matter because we willingly handed over the vehicle with the title and the keys to this guy in exchange for a counterfeit check. So an agreement was made, but the counterfeit check is
theft by deceit.
Theft by deceit. So we have a criminal case on our hands.
But we didn't know that until the next day.
It was the longest 24 hours, I think, of my life.
So Wednesday, let's see.
Wednesday was the day we realized the vehicle was stolen.
On my way home from work on Wednesday, I called Toyota and I was like, our van was stolen. Is there any way to find its location? And I was talking to a gentleman, definitely not in the United States. It was, in India or wherever they source.
Outsource there.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, well, I gave him the VIN number. He's like, it's a 50-50 shot. He's like, if the SOS button has ever been pushed in your vehicle, we're gonna be able to do it. If the SOS button has not been pushed, we're not gonna be able to do it.
You know who probably pushed that SOS button?
Well, he said when a car gets leased, generally they do it because they get the XM satellite radio.
Oh. Or like if it wasn't leased, it was rented.
Right, yeah, that's what I meant.
Rented?
Yeah, that's what
okay.
I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. A rental vehicle.
So that they can locate it if someone like steals it? Oh, so because we got that's right, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
okay.
but it could have been Bear and Lindell too. I mean,
it might
we don't know.
Who knows?
We don't know for sure.
We don't let our kids play in a vehicle, but...
So anyway, it's funny because the gentleman with the Toyota stolen vehicle locator, so I gave him all the information. I had to like fax in the title and proof of ownership and registration and all that good stuff. And I had to send them the case number from, so we live in Camden County, which I think is okay to say because it's a pretty big county. So like I had to give him the case number and like the police shop that it was at. So he called them and said, hey, I just want to verify case, blah, 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 is an open case. And that was it. Like, because it wasn't technically a stolen vehicle yet. And so, yeah, the cop shop was like, oh, yeah, that's an open case, blah, blah, blah. And so the Toyota guy turns on the stolen vehicle identifier. And they found the vehicle.
Like immediately.
He's like, oh, this worked. You're lucky. And stationary. The van is stationary. Like
stationary?
Yeah, he didn't know how to say stationary.
Oh.
It's stationary.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he knew it wasn't in motion.
And so suddenly, like so if we're on a scale of like, here is your hopes. Like,
this is
this
0.
Is the lowest. Yeah, this is a 10.
We're 0
Suddenly,
here.
I was at a 0. I was up to a 9.
Only because we knew where it was located.
Exactly.
It turns out that had nothing to do with our outcome. I mean, maybe a little.
Maybe a little. Because we could always repo it. We could have repoed it.
Oh, okay. Even if nothing else
As long as we knew where it was located, we could have repoed it the whole time. Because it was still our van.
Okay. Yeah, no, so that's a 0 to a 9 for sure.
So anyway, so we have a friend, he's an engineer for Toyota up in St. Louis. And
super witty, super funny guy.
Hilarious. And your dad texted him.
That's where it gets funny.
Totally caught him off guard.
My dad texted him earlier that day, just like picking his brain about the OnStar type system that's in a Toyota, which is not called OnStar, it's called Safety Connect. In a Toyota, it's similar to OnStar. You push a button, Safety Connect, and they can like help you. I don't know. I'm not sure what features it has. Maybe you guys can let us know in the comments below if you have Safety Connect.
It's in our email, honey.
Because
we have it now.
I will tell you, if you have OnStar, if you have Safety Connect, if you have anything of the sort, it is worth paying for.
I don't know. OnStar is the very basic package is $25 a month.
But if you don't have it activated and you have OnStar, they cannot activate it if it's not already activated.
Exactly.
So you would not be saved in this scenario.
No.
If you have actual OnStar. Only Safety Connect.
Luckily, Toyota gave us a free 5-month trial.
Which we had not used yet.
Luckily.
Thankfully, we didn't just like decide to use that the first 5 months.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Anyway, so my dad had been like kind of texting randomly the family friend that we know that is an engineer at Toyota. So that was earlier in the day. It is probably 10:30 p.m. at this point.
It's getting late.
And I texted him and I was like, oh my gosh, the only reason we're gonna be able to recover our van is because of Toyota's Safety Connect. I texted him that, something like that. And he texted me back and he's like, what's going on? What's the deal?
He's like, I thought your dad was in the market for him to purchase a minivan.
Whenever my dad told him about this, it sounded to our family friend like my dad wanted to buy a minivan or a Toyota of some kind. So he was like, call me now. So we call him. He ends up calling and connecting us with somebody from Safety Connect within Toyota. Like that he had some connection to because he's an engineer, and basically just reaffirmed that they had the location of our van and that they were going to...
It was already sent to the police.
It was already sent, and not only that, but it was going to be... They were going to send it like every 10 minutes?
Every 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes, Toyota sends the location of the vehicle to the nearest police station. And so we went to bed knowing that they knew where our Toyota was and that it was stationary. So I get up, we go to bed at
probably... It took our level of sleep from a 1 to like a 2.5 at least.
Yeah, so we go to bed at probably like 1 a.m. And I get up at 7. And I check my email, and at 2:23, Toyota emailed me, and they said, we've shut off, like per request, we went ahead and shut off your stolen vehicle identifier, or identicator, whatever it's called. I don't know what the name is.
Calling it an identicator.
So anyway, the first thing I do is call them.
I think I'm like an identificator.
I think,
to Kentucky police.
Yeah, so the first thing I do is call Toyota be like, I did not request this to be shut off. Like, what the heck? And the person like clicks on the computer and checks their notes like, oh, your vehicle has been not repossessed, but oh, your vehicle has been recovered. I'm like, oh, this is great. And so they gave me the phone number to the nearest Kentucky police station. And so obviously
at this point we just knew it was in Kentucky,
yeah,
not Paducah.
Exactly. So I call that Kentucky police station. He's like, no, you're going to have to call Camden County where you filed the report and they can give you the updates or whatever. Like, oh, okay, great. And I'm like, so Toyota would only tell me that the vehicle's in Kentucky. Like, can you, like, where are you located? He's like, oh, we're in Paducah. And he's like, and there's 16 different police stations here in Paducah. Usually Toyota just picks the very first one and calls them. So I didn't know.
Right. But then the Toyota guy was like, we picked the closest one.
Exactly.
Right. Which does not matter. At this point, it's in Paducah. The van's in Paducah. It's stationary.
Yeah, and I think it's recovered because that's what Toyota said.
And Toyota says it's recovered. So,
turns out it wasn't actually recovered just yet. So
it was at a dealership though.
Yes, it was at a dealership, but we didn't know that yet.
Oh, okay.
So your dad had called, one of the family friends is a lawyer. Just so happens.
So at this point, the vehicle is still not listed as stolen.
No, so this is still a
civil matter.
Civil matter.
Right. The big hang up for us at this point is that we do not have a stolen vehicle.
So we can't like claim insurance for a stolen vehicle.
We have no power.
The police can't impound the vehicle.
Right. We can't do anything. The VIN number is not listed as stolen. If it gets sold again, it doesn't matter because it's not stolen. So yeah, our hands are pretty much tied at this point as far as what we can do until the vehicle is listed as stolen.
So Rachel's dad calls the family lawyer. He's a family friend. He's not actually like...
He's our family lawyer.
Okay. And he's like, that's definitely a criminal case. He's
theft by deceit.
Yeah, he like gives us the official terminology, theft by deceit or whatever. Right. He's like, you need to press Camden County. You need to get that blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm in Florida right now. I'll be back on Monday. If you can't get it, like, I have connections at Camden. Camden will, we'll get it done or whatever. I'll take the case.
Yeah.
Luckily, so
while this was all happening.
Well, yeah, so I call the Camden County, our deputy, and the dispatcher's like, oh, he's with his supervisor. They're at the courthouse. You can leave a message.
They're in a meeting.
Yeah, you can leave a message on his voicemail. And I'm like, well, like, do you know how long he's gonna be? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, I'll just call back in an hour. So before I have the chance to call back, the deputy calls me. He's like, I spoke to a different prosecutor. So Camden County has 5 different prosecutors. He's like, I spoke with a different prosecutor. Your vehicle's now stolen. The Kentucky State Trooper is currently with your vehicle. I was like, oh. I'm sure that he could hear my smile like through the phone. So this deputy went to bat for us. Like went on to a different.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, he went on from a different prosecutor, talked to a different one, and got
on our behalf.
Got this to be a criminal case.
Right. He really went to bat for us. He started out as our like enemy and ended up as our hero.
Exactly. In less than 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
But the deputies, in his defense, so he just went off of his like
experience.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, the exact same scenario happened. So he just went off his experience. Like,
I would have done the same thing.
He doesn't know the law to a T like a lawyer does or like a prosecutor does.
Right.
So
that's why you have all these people working together to come. Like, if you feel like there's something wrong, then press it. I know nothing about the law, and I'm oblivious to this. And as soon as the deputy walked into our house without a mask and was telling me you have a civil case on your hands, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even know what a civil case, like what a civil case
like
versus
you could only sue the person versus they could go to jail.
I didn't even know what that meant.
Right.
And so I was.
Yeah, this whole thing has been a total eye-opener.
It really has, and it makes me just really appreciative for people that are fluent within their profession. You know what I mean? Like, people that know their profession really well. You need to go to somebody that you know knows their stuff.
So the scary thing is, and you should know this, if you're gonna sell a vehicle or something for a high dollar amount, if we would have accepted any form of like a down payment, like $1 even, or like a check for $500, then it would have been a civil matter and not a criminal case anymore.
For some reason, if there's any exchange of money other than a fraudulent check, it's only the fraudulent check that is the crime.
So yes, so the only thing that our saving grace was, we didn't accept any money.
Exactly. Crazy.
Who knows? I mean, who
would have known that?
The con artist obviously didn't know, because
you would think if you're accepting a down payment in cash, that would be a safety net.
Yeah,
It's the opposite in this scenario.
Exactly, which is just crazy.
It is crazy.
So, luckily, we were able to have it as a stolen vehicle. Toyota was able to pin the vehicle. The Kentucky State Troopers were able to locate the vehicle. And it was nice because actually the dealership that it was found actually drove it to the impound for us, so we didn't have to pay for a tow truck.
Oh, I didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
so the final dealership where it was found was like a stand-up dealership, and like literally drove it to the inbound for us.
Apparently, because it was sold 4 times.
But that last dealership was able to stop payment, and so they didn't lose any money.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what a story.
What a story.
And it's not even over yet.
It's really not.
I mean,
We
this
still
is
have-
just the beginning.
It really is.
Some of the details we
have not even shared yet.
we
There's-
can't.
We can't share, and
Right.
there's a lot of layers to everything that we haven't divulged.
So that'll come someday. Hopefully, because hopefully they grab these guys.
There was identity theft,
There was
theft by deceit,
There was other stuff.
title washing.
Title washing.
Title washing.
So hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Follow us like on our journey.
On our journey with criminals.
And we have a lot of exciting topics actually coming up. Things that you're gonna really be interested in.
Yeah, that don't have to deal with car theft.
Okay, so have a great day.
Yes. We'll see you next time.